Hi, Steve. I thought I would, if I'm going to do this, I'd make a video, show you how I do it using the tools that I have. So, the frontmost window is your Adobe Acrobat. This is the file that they supplied to you. What they want me to do is fill in the blue areas. Basically, that includes the bleed and also the pink areas. But the interior blue areas is kind of an idea like a safety margin. Don't put type too close to that, okay? So, the measurements they've got, and we're going by the crops here, 5.5 by 8.5 plus 0.614 inch spine. So, here's what we're going to do. This is my InDesign new document palette. So I'm going to put in my values. It's going to be 11.614 by 8.5 high. It's going to have 2 columns, and the column gutter is going to be 0.614 inches. Then we're going to go and set the bleed to 1/8 of an inch, because that's what it looks like on their template. Click create. What I'm going to do is build the book cover itself, and then incorporate that into the 15 by 12 document that they want me to furnish, because they want us not to change any of the items that are outside of the artwork. Okay? The crops will come in automatically when we're doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 boxes. So we want to center this within each panel. So we're going to make the width 5.75, 8.75. You may say, well, it's only 5.5 plus a bleed on the left. If I place it into a box of that size and center it, then the art will be off center. It's better to place it in a box with full bleeds and then pull in the left and right edges as needed. So here we go. Then all I have to do, now I'm not seeing the workspace the way I want it, so I'm going to change it to workspace. I think Essentials Classic is probably what I want. Yep. So we want to position this properly. So we click the lattice up here on the top left corner, and we say minus 0.125, and Y is also minus 0.125. And that'll snap it up in the corner where I want it. So what I'm going to do now is highlight this box, go to the edit menu, step and repeat, and I'm just going to make a 0 vertical change, horizontal, we'll just say 5, and it'll be 1 copy. And then all I have to do is drag it and get it to snap into position on the right hand side. Okay. Now I'm going to do another one. Create a new box. This one will be, the width will be 0.614 plus 0.25. Automatically calculates that. Height will be 8.75. Then we'll just put it at minus 0.125, minus 0.125. Then I'm going to bring up a script. You can find those. Utilities, scripts. We're going to go to community or Where's it? Application, samples, JavaScript, align to page. We'll say center, center, and that snaps us right in the middle of the page. So now we're ready to bring in our items. Start with the front page. And we're gonna go Heaven's Gate cover. This is the front cover here. All right. So now this is smaller than it should be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go Object Menu, Fitting, and it's one of these two. Yeah, it's this one here. This proportionately fills it, and if I hold button down, you can see how that it's slightly taller. Now I'm going to go in here, but we have to do this because we want to use all the width. So then we want to place File to Place, and this will be the back cover. Alright, so we're not going to be able to use that. That's not what we're after. This one here. Okay. And again, I'm going to try and fit it proportionately. Hit this again. Okay. So what I'll do, basically, I'm going to reduce it, but I have to be careful. Center of the lattice has to be there. Now we're going to ignore, for the moment, I'm going to ignore the code. So I'm going to leave that as that is for the moment. Try and bring it over as much as I can, but I've got to have the bleed over here. So it's kind of obvious that the proportions on the back cover are not quite right. We're going to have to fill in the rest of that space with something else. So just for fun right now, I'm going to go to Separation Preview, turn Preview on, and get a reading on that blue. 88, 82, 52, 69. So what I will do is 88, 82, 52, 69. And I'm going to punch in the same numbers. So what I've done is I've kind of filled it with the same blue, but because of the gradient, it's not going to match down here. So we need, obviously, to fix the cover. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to center it for now. finally, we have the spine. Okay. Again, the question is this wide enough? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making the adjustments now. I'm going to pull in the bleed to there, and on this one, I'm going to pull in the bleed to there. Now the edges of the front and back cover are stopping at where you want the spine to start. So again, we've got a problem because there isn't enough width to that item, but I'm still going to put in a background for now. So, got a background that matches at the top, but again, because of the gradient, the bottom, it doesn't match there. So what you should do is make the width of that item 8.75 high in inches and 0.614 and a little bit more in the width. Do all the stuff you want to do for gradients and stuff like that, and go ahead and make that file. So now we've got everything we need to create the cover. Now I'm noticing here that has been moved. It's not in the right spot. So I'm going to go y minus 0.125. Okay. So something's not right here. I'm going to just bring it up so that it's there. It's there. Now it's properly positioned. Okay, so I'm going to save it as, I'm going to call it cover only. Layout. Save that. Then I'm going to create an Adobe PDF from it. We'll just go press quality. Okay, and save. Alright, so what we need to do, marks and bleeds. I want crop marks. I want the bleed to be 0.125 as in the document. There isn't anything else we need to set. Just hit export. You'll see this go around a little bit. When it stops doing the circle thing, it means it's done. I'll save it and I'll close it. Now, going back to this document, when I bring the cursor down to the left corner, it says it's 15 by 12. That's the size of the document that we must present to the bookmaker. So we will go back into InDesign, create a new file. This one will be 15 by 12. There won't be any extra columns and there won't be any bleeds. So we'll just create that. Now I'm going to go into layers and I'm going to rename the first layer FPO for position only. I'm going to click to create a 15 by 12 box to match that size of the document. Then I'm going to go to utilities again and scripts and go line to page, center, center. That way I don't have to position it by eye. Alright. So now we're going to bring in the perfect document. There it is. So I'm going to do two things. With the box selected, I'm going to go into Effects, and I'm going to change the opacity 50%. Make it a little easier to deal with. Then over here on the Layers panel, I'm going to click here to lock it so there's no way I can move it. Then I'm going down here, and I'm going to create a second layer. We're going to call this Artwork, or you can call it Cover, whatever you want. So what we need to do is place the cover only layout. I'm going to click outside the bounds document because I don't want to replace anything in there. Now, what we have to do, and here I'm going to take out the thing here. I'm going to zoom in because I really want to see this closely. So what you see at the bottom with the blue, that's the crops, and that's that's where they want the crops to be. And then I'm going to click over here, and you're going to see that those crops are overlaying as well. You'll see that the crops are there, and the bleed just hits the top of the document. And you'll watch. I'm gonna cut this out so you can see, and I'm gonna leave the underlying thing where it is. I could ever so slightly move it up to match. I'm gonna cut now. I see a problem here because I still see some blue. So I'm going to go over to this side and see how I'm lining up over here. Yeah, you can see that you are just not making it. I go over like this, you can see even more of the blue on this side. So it looks to me like they actually want the bleed to be more like 3/16. So we can adjust that in our original file. Let's go down to the bottom, see if there's any blue showing there. And as you can see, there is a little bit. So I'm going to pause. Well, no. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the original layout. Cover only layout. I'm going to go to document setup. We're going to change the bleed to 3/16 or 0.1875. And then what I'll do, this is just a quick and dirty attempt at it. We have to make our files that we're placing a little better than this in terms of size. So we'll also grab the spine, snap the size of it down here as well. Here as well, and what I'll do here, just bring the picture over a bit. On the top, we'll bring it over. And I'll do that here as well. Okay. And again, we will export. Press quality PDF. It's got the same name. We're going to replace it. And we'll look at marks and bleeds. Use document settings. And add crop marks. And export. So I'm going to save and close that. Now what happens next is that in this other layout, what you're seeing is, oops, I'm going to go view, fit page and window. All right, now, you see that little triangle? That's telling you that it needs to be updated. So when you double click that, everything comes out. But I would prefer to just place a fresh copy. So I'm going to do that. Cover only layout. Okay. And we're going to zoom in. Oops. Get that out of the way. Zoom in, zoom in. Zoom in some more. And then just start getting this into position. And zoom in a bit more. Just want to come over here. Grab this. Okay, I've got it perfectly set there. Let's go down to the bottom. And we handle the horizontal. That's perfect there. Notice there's no light blue or cyan peeking out of the bottom. And we're not seeing that either there. That is lining up perfectly. And when I go to the top, again, it's lined up perfectly. So the bleed at the top and the crops at the top are hanging out over the edge, and they don't care. They just want it to be like that. So everything's properly positioned. The only thing that I would like to do yet is to deal with the barcode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place another copy of the 15 by 12 template onto this layout. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to crop in on it, move it around, crop in on it. Now, we don't want to have any pink showing, so I'm going to close crop this. Let me move this over a bit. Okay, there's where the pink is. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom back out. Oops. And I don't think it's a good idea to make this any smaller than what they've given you. And we have to be careful because the crop is here now. If we go back and look at the layers for just a second, I'm going to turn off this layer. Now, if I draw a line guide here, actually the layer's locked, but you can see that it's probably a good 1/4 inch. If I unlock it and I just drag a box, it's just to give me a, come on, FPO. If I drag me a box from the bottom of the white down to the crop, you can see that the height is 0.315 inches, and it's actually a little more than that. So yeah, I'll say about 0.325. All right, so we'll delete that. We'll lock that again and go up here, make this visible again. So it's sitting right on here. I'm going to zoom in, okay? So I'm going to transform or move it no, not scale. Move 0 minus 0.325 and hit preview. Okay. And that is where it needs to be, because that's roughly the position that they've got in their own layout, okay? So you're going to have to redo your cover so that the back cover measures, because we want to center it. So make it a full 5.75 wide by 8.75 high. The front cover seems to have extra image to it. If I click and hold the mouse button down, you can see roughly what it's doing there. So I think it's okay. The front cover's probably okay. The spine needs to be 0.614 plus a little bit. We're not gonna bleed it off because we're gonna have the covers lay over top of it. So I'm gonna take this piece here. Oh yeah. Anyway, the point is, in the other layout, I will make these covers lay over top, so they only have to stretch out a little bit bigger than 0.614. Then it will fit. So now that it's all assembled, you've got the items that they requested to be there outside of the printing area. So I'm going to call this to book printer. Let's see if I spelled that right. To book printer and click save. Then again, I'm going to go press quality. And I don't need a bleed on this because it's already got the bleed at the top that they want. They're not asking for more than that. So I'm going to go to marks and bleeds. There will be no bleed. There doesn't have to be marks. Just click export. Okay, that's finished. I'm going to save, close. Now I'm going to go to downloads, Heaven's Gate cover, to book printer. Let's open it up. Okay, so except for the changes that you have to make, this has everything they want. Okay, and let's see, what did that take? 15 minutes. And if you give me new files, all I got to do is plop the new ones in. It'll be even quicker. Okay, so there's a little tutorial how I use InDesign more or less to set up a cover. In this case, setting up the way these guys want it. Okay, so I'll email that to you now, and I'll send you the link to this YouTube video once I get it uploaded. Okay, thanks a lot, Steve. Hope you enjoyed that.